Hello everyone, my name is Eric Jones and we're going to take a look at a PowerPoint entitled Irrigation Total Quality Management, or TQM. Some objectives of this lecture is we're going to explain how quality is defined and measured. We are going to define total quality management. We're going to explain the empowerment of employees, and then we're going to distinguish between internal and external customers, and then last but not least we will outline the steps in a total quality management program. Now, even though this lecture is set up for irrigation, you could take it and run it with pretty much any type of green industry business that you may be involved with. And actually, with most of us being multitasked and running multi facets of your business, whereas you may have an irrigation crew, you may have an installation crew, you may have a turf grass crew or a lawn care crew. So you could really implement the total quality management process through each one of your segments of your business. And we're going to look at 2 or 3 examples in this lecture about it. This is probably not going to be as long as some of the other lectures that you've seen me do. I've only got 10 slides within this lecture, but it's a lot of information for 10 slides, and hopefully you'll kind of understand the process of TQM and we'll be able to implement it within your business. So to begin with, let's talk about quality. And if you look back right after World War II, the economy of the world kind of focused on the United States. You know, it was all based on the United States. You look at Europe and the Japanese markets, a lot of their factories were destroyed at World War II. And here in the States, we were able to convert our factories that were geared up for wartime. We were easily able to transition them into a post-war industrial movement. So right after World War II, things were good. I still remember my grandparents talking about, right after World War II, that was the time to live, and it was everybody seemed happy. There was, only one parent needed to work. There was more stay-at-home mothers that were able to raise their children, and things just seemed to go good. People had extra money. They were able to take vacations. They had 2 cars, and it just seemed to be going well. Landscaping became really big at that time because they came home from the war. They had their GI Bill. They were able to build a home. They wanted to enjoy the outside, so they were able to do nice landscape jobs, and they wanted to go to the parks and play ball with their kids. So, post World War II was a great time for the U.S. And as the rest of the world slowly built their industrial power, the United States became the standard in quality. Everybody looked to the U.S. to see, how things needed to be done. Basically, American companies that were in this post-war era focused their quality standard on the finished product or service and defined it to fit their personal image. Quality control was usually the final inspection step in the manufacturing or service process, and the products that failed to meet the prescribed quality were rejected. Services that were unsatisfactory were replaced in full or in part. The customer was not involved in the definition or the measurement of quality at all. Their only their only part in the process was to complain about it or to approve of it. They didn't actually set the quality standard, and things of that nature has changed. Now we measure quality based on the customer's satisfaction. So I'm going to talk a little bit about examples. Let's think about a florist right now. A customer orders a bouquet of flowers for her dining room table, and you are a florist, so you get your largest, your biggest, showiest flowers to put together this bouquet. You throw in some extra ribbons, some extra greenery, a super nice big vase, and the flowers are just wow. I mean, just overpowering. They're just gorgeous. And you deliver the flowers to the client. And the client sets them on their dining room table, and the flowers are too big and too showy to sit on the dining room table. You are super proud of this project, of this bouquet that you put together, and you deliver it thinking that the customer is going to be extremely satisfied, only to find out that they're not at all happy with it because it's too big and too showy. So the client has determined the quality of that product. It may be the prettiest bouquet you've ever done, but when you deliver it to the house and she sets it on the dining room table, she is so unhappy with it that she doesn't want it anymore. She has set the quality of your product based on that situation. Look at nurseryman. Nurseryman is growing trees. He's got trees planted in the field. He's going by and he's shearing them, pruning them to the way they need to look, giving them that formal look, and he is so proud of them and ready to sell them. He sells them to a client that wants a formal looking garden, and his trees fit it perfectly. Everything's matching. They're the same size, the same height. The tops are full. They're equivalent to each other. Looks really, really good in a formal garden situation. However, if he was to take those same trees and sell them to a client who wants a natural garden or to blend in with the surroundings, they would be unhappy with that tree because they wanted more of a naturalistic look. So that customer set the quality for that particular product, that tree from that nursery. You may have a customer who wants that textbook lawn, wants it to be green, weed-free, and just lush and outstanding. However, they may have water restrictions. So you install this perfect lawn, you're giving them the service of a turf care program, but yet they're not able to run their irrigation system. So again, they've set the quality of that perfect yard, that perfect turf grass, based on not having water. But again, they've set the quality of it. You are happy with it. They're not able to water it, and again, so they're a little upset with you at that point. Again, the customer sets the quality. It's not coming from us. We're not the ones defining the word quality. It is coming directly from our customers. So, total quality management, the new definition of quality. We are meeting and exceeding the customer's expectations. So the new definition means that the customer becomes the judge of quality, and that we as the business owners must find ways of measuring this customer's satisfactions. We have to understand that there is no quality standard of a product or service until the customer's satisfaction is registered and measured. So basically, our definition of quality is to meet the customer's requirements and exceed those expectations. And we're going to have to survey our customers. We're going to have to understand their needs and their wants. And so let's take a look at some examples. Again, going back to the florist, we're going back to the florist situation. We have two florists that have been called to design a bouquet for us. They both have exceptional reputations. They're just known to produce a product that is outstanding and remarkable. They're both equally priced. They're both just the two best florists in your town. So, one of the florists gets a call, delivers a bouquet, knocks on the door, gives the bouquet the person who ordered it, and just leaves. Takes their money, or if they paid for it on a credit card, delivers the flowers, and turns and walks away. The other florist takes their order, either takes their money, either credit card on the phone, or will pick up at the door, delivers the flowers, and says, "Mr. Jones, here's your beautiful bouquet of flowers that you requested. We thank you so much for your business. We hope you have a wonderful day. Again, thank you so much for being a customer of ours, and thank you. So the customer really appreciates the thankfulness of that. And when they look at the bouquet of flowers, they also notice that inside of the wrapping is a packet of material that can dissolve in the water and keep the flowers living longer. So little things like that, like meeting that customer's expectation and going above and beyond, has helped that customer realize that the florist is really taking care of us. They just went above and beyond, and I'm going to recommend them to everybody and use them again. Another example, let's take a look at irrigation crews. You have two irrigation crews or irrigation companies that are providing outstanding work. I mean, they are equal in experience and education, let's say. But let's say Company A is a little more pricey than Company B. Both Company A and B, they have the same knowledge, they have the same expertise. They're both members of the Irrigation Association. They attend all the meetings that they are to go to. They're getting their CEUs. They're training their employees. Both of them are just good, reputable companies when it comes to the work that they perform. However, Company A is able to charge more than Company B. But let's take a look at them. Company A has clean trucks. They're washed weekly. They open the doors of the truck and soda cans don't fall out. Their employees are in matching uniforms. They have the khaki pants with the nice green polo that each one of their crew members wears. They all have the same hat. They're wearing PPE. They're wearing their safety glasses. They're wearing their hearing protection. They're wearing gloves. They look very, very professional. Their equipment's washed. Their trencher is top notch. They wash it at least once a week, keeping it clean. The pipes stacked neatly on the truck. They've got a nice rack for it. They've got a nice toolbox truck that everything is organized. The company just looks really, really neat and clean. Plus, each one of the employees is knowledgeable enough to talk to the customer. This is a top-notch company. They charge more than Company B. Look at Company B. They have trucks that are rusted out. They have trucks that don't have their logo on it. They have trucks that are different colors, or they've got a different colored bed than the cab of the truck. They don't have everything organized. The pipe's just thrown on a flatbed trailer and it's rolling all over the place. They have an old rusty trencher that's 20 years old. It's leaking oil all over the driveway, and they wonder why they can't charge as much as Company A. Customers are willing to pay more for Company A than Company B just because of appearance. Another example of TQM. We have two nurserymen that are growing similar products, and they're going to sell them to retail outlets and or to landscape contractors. One nursery plants them, digs them, delivers them to the client just as the other one does. But however, let's say one of the plants dies and you return the plant to the nursery. You're the landscape contractor that's bought some plants from nursery A and nursery B. You return the plants to nursery A. Nursery A and nursery B both replace the plants to you, no charge, no questions asked. It's within the warranty. However, company A is going to send out a survey to you or make a phone call and say, hey, Mr. Landscaper, we want to thank you for your business. We would like you to do this survey about why you returned the plants. Was it dead? Did it not meet expectation? We want to make our products the best for you. Our trees and shrubs that we're growing for you, we want to improve on the process. How can we help that? Well, the landscaper is going to realize, hey, these guys care. Whereas nursery B replaced it for them at no charge, but it's like they didn't take the time to get the customer's feedback. We need that input from the customers to define what quality is. And by sending out that survey or just a simple phone call, hey, Mr. Landscaper, we apologize for you having to return the tree back, that it died on us. We want to make it better. How can we help you in the future? You've maintained that loyalty of that customer to come back to you. So, again, definition. We talked about the definition of quality. So the definition of total quality management is that it recognizes the client as the only real quality inspector of a company. They're the only ones that can measure the quality, is the customer, the external customer. And we'll talk more about external and internal customers, but that external customer is the only one that can recognize real quality of the company. So within our total quality management, you need to have continuous improvement of the following: your services that you provide, your products that you provide, and your processes that you have to take a job from start to completion. And you need to have continuous improvement within the organization. And again, me being a teacher, I have come to the realization that being a teacher, I learn something new every single day. Horticulture is so broad within our realm. With what we can do for our customers, it's so big that I still learn something new every single day, whether it's a textbook that I read, an article or journal that I read. I learn something new every day being a teacher. And as business owners, we need to learn something new every day about our company and focus that information on improving it. We're not perfect. We were created as man and woman. We're not perfect. There's only one perfect individual, and we know who that is, our Creator. And it's okay not to be perfect. But it's not okay not to always want to improve your services or your product, improve your organization. So, steps to total quality management for an irrigation job. Okay. And, all right, okay, yeah, good. I'm just making sure that on the next slide we start talking about our customers, internal and external. So, steps for the TQM on an irrigation job. Well, you've got to sell the job. And that's the big step. You got to be able to sell it, get your name out there, sell the job. And guys, when we start talking about internal customers, your internal customers are your employees, basically. So there's going to be different internal customers that are doing these different steps of the job. So, step one, sell the job. This is your salesman, or you yourself as a business owner selling the job. You go out, you sell the job, you've got the estimate, it's signed, you turn that into a contract, or you turn that into a purchase order, and you get it scheduled. Well, there may be an office manager that's going to schedule the jobs. They're going to look at the schedule board, and they're going to see, all right, such and such jobs are here, such and such jobs are next week, we can get this job such and such. Well, there may be another internal employee that could be the crew leader that's purchasing the materials for this. They're going to see that it's X amount of square feet long, there's so many feet of lateral line, so many feet of main line. It's going to need the backflow, it's going to need the a certain irrigation controller. So they're getting all these materials together. And this just may be somebody different than the crew leader. It could be a purchasing manager that's looking at all this and scheduling. Then you can have the crew that installs the system, and which is definitely going to be different than the office manager or account manager that's doing steps 1, 2, and 3. Well, step 5 will be with the same people. You're going to clean up. Well, they're going to clean up the job after the installation. Then they're going to bring back the paperwork to the office, and then they're going to bill the customer. And that could be the account manager. That could actually be the salesman that did the job, but they're the ones that's going to bill out the customer. Therefore, then we need to start looking at all guarantees. You know, what did you guarantee for the customer? Within that estimate and within that job, did you have it set up that you would actually give them 1 year service on a winter shutdown and a spring startup? So you need to schedule that. And then you need to do a follow-up to determine the satisfaction. And basically that needs to be the same person that sold the job. They need to go out, visit the client, or give them a phone call. Hey, are you happy with your irrigation system? Did we do a good job? Are you seeing any dry spots or any dead spots maybe that the water's not getting? You need to follow up and make sure that the customer is happy with the quality of work that you've done. Hence, total quality management. And like I said earlier, the customer is the only one that can determine true quality for your company. So, internal and external customers. Good stuff here. The traditional customer is your external customer. They are the ones that hire you. They are the ones that are going to pay your bills. You cannot stay in business without these external customers. You got to market to them. You got to go after them. You've got to land that contract, sell that job so that you can do a total quality management program for them. You know, this is the bread and butter of our business. Your internal customers are your employees. They are interdependent job performances. These are the people that can have any error at any stage during the process. So let's go back to that setup of TQM for an irrigation job. You sell the job. You've sold the job. You've got it scheduled, but the person that's doing the ordering orders the wrong irrigation controller or forgets to order it at all. They've just messed up that last or the most important part of the step, getting paid. They've delayed that. Your crew goes out and starts installing the system, puts in the wrong controller or shows up without a controller. Therefore, the client can't use their irrigation system for another 2 or 3 days while you have to go and get the other controller. They've messed up. They committed an error at their stage of the process, which messes up the whole job. So therefore, we need to look at ways to improve this, and this improvement has to be and will always be continuous. Look at ways that you could have prevented that irrigation controller being ordered wrongly or not ordered at all. And that may be a simple fix, but it's a fix that you're going to have to always keep looking after. Something's always going to come up, and there's always going to be ways to improve your processes within your organization. So, implementing the TQM. Recognize that quality can only be defined and evaluated by the external customer. However, your internal customers, your employees, they can help you analyze your processes. These are the ones that you need to go to and say, hey, guys, what are we doing? What did we do wrong? Is there something that we can do better? And it may be simply going back and looking at step one, the guy that sold the job. He needs to be the one that ordered the materials. It's going to be different for each company. So look at your processes. Ask your internal customers, how can we make this work? Identify the steps within the processes. You need to have steps within each step of the TQM, and you need to identify them. And let's go back and let's take a look. Again, let's take another look at a flower shop. And guys, I keep referring back to that. I'm a horticulture teacher, so we teach a lot about greenhouse production and management, along with irrigation and landscape design classes and landscape construction. So I'm using an example of a flower shop again. 6 steps for processing a flower shop. They received a customer inquiry. Customer calls, wants to find out about purchasing some flowers. Step 2 is that they make the sale. They sold them the flowers. Step 3 is that they prepared the arrangement of the flowers. Step 4, they delivered the arrangement of flowers. Step 5, they billed the customer. And step 6, they determine the customer satisfaction. Well, each one of these 6 steps, ladies and gentlemen, can be turned in to several steps within each step. So let's look at our example in the process of preparing the arrangement, which was step 3. This might include a series of steps that is 1, order the flowers and the greens. 2, order the containers, the picks, the water retention media, the wire, the tapes, and any other materials that's needed to construct that bouquet. Step 3 is to schedule that work. And 4 is to construct or build that arrangement of flowers. And then step 5 is to package the arrangement for delivery. So there was 5 steps within step 3 of preparing the arrangement. So look at how you can do that for any processes within your company, whether it be irrigation, whether it be landscape installation, holiday and event decoration. You can all create steps within a step, and each one of these steps can be done by different internal customers. So, back to implementing your TQM. Scrutinize each step for problems and incrementally improve each step. So look at it in detail. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong here? Is there a way that, hey, maybe have one person concentrate on this step? Or is it 2? Do I need to divide it amongst 2 different people to get it done quicker and to get it done simpler? Only you can decide that within your company. Ensure that every employee recognizes satisfaction of the customer is the number one goal. They are the true boss. We may own our own horticulture or landscape irrigation company, but truly we're all working for the customer or the client. Inform your employees of a dual role as a provider and internal customers. We are providing a service to our clients, and they are also an internal customer of the company. Empower your employees to respond to the client's questions and concerns. Make sure that they're knowledgeable enough that they can talk to the client, that they can answer any questions, and that they have a sincere attitude when it comes to making sure that the customer is happy. Listen to the employees. They're the ones that's in the field every day. They're the ones that's installing these irrigation jobs every single day. Listen to see if they have a way to improve it. Sometimes we have to swallow our pride. As business owners, we get a little, it's not cocky or arrogant, we get a little too confident, is the way I like to say it. And guys, true leaders surround themselves with people smarter than they are. I know you might laugh at that and think that's a little hard to do within the green industry, but seriously, your best leaders surround themselves with a staff that's smarter than them. And I always look at that based on my military experience. Some of the best colonels and generals that I've worked for had a staff of people that knew more than they did. And they collectively took the information they got from their super smart staff and ultimately made the correct decision based on people that worked for them. And we need to do that as the employer. Listen to your employees. They're the ones out in the field every day. Just once a week, have a meeting. Hey, guys, how can we improve the process of getting these irrigation systems done? They may come up with something that's a simple fix that could get the job done a day earlier and gets that money to you a day earlier. Provide training when processes change. So if it's in the paperwork and the office end, have a day that you could train the office staff that could handle this processing. Establish measurement tools. How are we going to measure our processes in the total quality management program? And then recognize that the TQM is continuous and it's always self-renewing. It's never going to be set in stone. It is going to change frequently because you're going to come up with new ideas, different ways that you can improve the process. And hey, maybe not with irrigation, but in other segments of industry, this is how people develop franchises. When they develop a system that is so self-explanatory and that it just flows, that's when they sell franchises. And I can't thank enough to the Christmas Decor people. When we had our Christmas Decor franchise, their system was so smooth running. The way they sold the Christmas light job, the way the orders were taken, the way we ordered materials, the way we installed the job, the way we followed through. It was a good, simple process, and we actually took that and brought it into our landscape business as well, that organizational philosophy. And they actually had a good TQM process through installing Christmas lights for customers. Recognize that employees must accept and participate in the TQM. If they cannot, this is when you hire slow and fire fast. You need to get rid of a customer that's not going to get rid of the employees that is not going to participate in your TQM. And always remember that you can't close the business at 5 o'clock today and expect at 8 o'clock in the morning to reopen and have a full TQM philosophy in place. It's going to take time, and it's got to be continuous. And like I said, this is a very short lecture on the TQM. There is a quiz on the Moodle site, so please take your time and do the quizzes, and I will see you in the next lecture. Thank you so much.